Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be answering some questions that all of you asked about college admissions. So I'll be starting off with some frequently asked questions and then I'll answer some specific questions that people have asked me on YouTube and Instagram. In my last college admissions Q&A and in my decision day video, I talked a lot about picking colleges, so I'm not going to go into that too much today, but a few people asked me how I chose between the West Coast and the East Coast. For me, it really came down to money because a lot of the East Coast schools were really expensive. So to anyone who's considering schools on both coasts, I think you should really think about how much money it's going to cost. So the next question is from Jules, who asks, did you apply for scholarships given by the colleges or outside scholarships? I only applied for scholarships given by the colleges and I didn't really have to do anything to apply. I was just automatically considered when I submitted my application. But if you do want to apply for need-based scholarships, you usually have to fill out the CSS profile or the FAFSA. So make sure that you do that before the deadline if you are interested in need-based scholarships. So the next question is also from Jules, but other people have asked it as well, and that is, what are you majoring in? My current major at SJSU is public relations, which is in their School of Journalism and Mass Communications. So the next question is from Leslie Elizabeth, and she left this question on my USF acceptance reaction video, and she said, I'm planning on applying this fall. Is there anything in your application you think might have boosted your chances of getting in? And my answer to that question is yes. I think that running for supervisor really helped me because a lot of Bay Area politicians have gone to that school and they're also known for politics, and their motto is change the world from here. So I think that running for public office really helped me, but maybe politics isn't your thing. So my advice to anyone applying to USF would be to show that you're passionate about things and that you actually want to change the world. And if you aren't really into social justice and politics and changing the world, then USF might not be the school for you. And just so everyone's clear, I have absolutely nothing against USF. I love the school. The reason I didn't end up going was because the school is very expensive. So the next question I'm going to be answering is from Lori.Keat on Instagram, and we actually went to Nueva together. And she asks, what subject tests did you take and how important were they for admissions? I actually didn't take any subject tests. The reason that I didn't take them was because they weren't required at any of the schools that I applied to. But if you do want to go to a school that requires them, make sure that you sign up for them and try to pick subjects that you really like and that you think you'll do well in. And if you know what you want to major in, try to pick a subject that somewhat relates to your major. The next question is from Betty.Solorio on Instagram, and she asks, for SJSU, was an essay required and how are GPA and SAT scores compared to the average? I'm applying for colleges this year and I'm really nervous if you couldn't tell already. So as far as I know, none of the CSU schools require an essay or a personal statement, but if you are applying to UC schools or private colleges, you will probably need to do a personal statement or an essay, but no essays are required for SJSU. With CSUs and especially SJSU, the GPA and test scores are a little bit complicated because they don't just base your admission off your raw test score. You have to convert your grades and your test scores into your eligibility index, and to do that, if you took the SAT, you have to take your GPA and multiply that by 800 and then add your SAT score. And if you took the ACT, you have to multiply your GPA by 200 and add that to 10 times your ACT score. And that will give you your eligibility index score. And for CSUs, the minimum eligibility score for the SAT is 29,000 or 694 for the ACT. And for people who aren't from California, it's 3,502 for the SAT and 842 for the ACT. Since SJSU is a really popular campus, their eligibility index scores are usually a little bit higher than average, but that really depends on the major that you're applying to. For PR, when I applied, it was 3,750, and the scores for business are usually 32,000 or higher, and for computer science and computer engineering, they're usually 4,000 or higher. My eligibility score was only a little bit higher than the minimum, so I think that I got really lucky in getting into SJSU. So those are all of the questions that I'm going to be answering today. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment them down below, and maybe I'll make another college admissions Q&A. But before I go, I just want to share something that Frank Bruni wrote in my signed copy of Where You Go Is Not Who You'll Be. This is a great book, by the way, for anyone who's applying to colleges. I would highly recommend it. And when I asked him to sign my book, he wrote, embrace learning, not labels. And I think that that's a really important message for anyone who's going through the college admissions process. It's easy to get caught up in grades and test scores, but at the end of the day, you don't have to go to an Ivy League school to get a good education. Regardless of what college you end up going to, you can do great things in the world, and you can have an amazing college experience. With that, I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you all very soon with a new video. Goodbye.